as it is said that railways are the backbone of this country. But what if the same backbone gives you pain? Yes, we are talking about the continuous railway accident which are happening in the country and which is hampering the people's lives and also the property. Hello and welcome to the InNews series of Drishti IAS. I am Ritu and today's session is about what are the stress factor on railways and why there is a continuous accident news coming on. So this session is important for your GS 2 and 3 perspective. Moving towards the points of discussion part. So first of all, we are going to discuss the news, then we are going to discuss about the accident, that how many accidents have increased or decreased, then we are going to discuss about the Kavach system, then we are going to discuss about that what is operating ratio, then we are going to discuss about the revenue generated from the freight and passenger services, then we are going to discuss about that how safety of the railway is affected, and then we are going to discuss about practice question for prelims. Before that, you have to like, share and subscribe to this TIAS channel. Moving towards the news part. So before moving to the news part, Drishti IAS has an important announcement for you. As you already know that Drishti IAS has several branches across the country and Drishti IAS has started its ISGS Foundation course. And in Indore, the batch will start by 13th of November, 3:30 p.m. And if you want to know more information, you can call on to the number 8010440440, 8010440440. Coming to the news part. So recently what we have seen that 8 coaches of Agartala-Lokmanya Tilak Express derailed in Assam. However, there was no casualty. But the derailment of the railway and derailment of any train is itself a big news, because we can see that in Balasore accident around 275 people are killed, and subsequently there were many accidents happen in which couple of people killed, but all their lives matters because they have no any fault, because they boarded the train and they don't know that their train is going to derail. So it is not the fault of the citizens that who are boarding the rail, it is the fault of the system and it is fault of the entire railway proceeding that they are getting derailed, they are getting accidents, and into that what we can see that passengers are suffering. Now here comes the question that who is responsible for such kind of the accident? The railway staff, the Kavach system, or lack of fund to provide equipment to the railway. So this news which we are going to cover up in today's session, that what are the safety cost we have to suffer and what are the stress factor we have. Do we have financial problem? Do we have staff problem? Do we have shortage of any equipments? We are going to cover up in today's session. So coming to the next one, which is about that how common are accident. So if we'll see the data since 1960s, what we can see that in 1960s era, the road and railway accident, here we are going to particularly focus on the railway accident because at that time road accident number were also high. But here if we'll see the railway accident, 1390 per year in 1960s, which has been reduced 80 per year in the last decade. However, what we can see that in last couple of years, the number is consequently increasing, and 34 in 21 to 22, then we can see 48 in 22 to 23 and 40 in 23 to 24. And we can see that it is constantly increasing, and according to the public report, what we can see that how these rail accident happen. So there are the regions. So 55.8% of the accident involving trains have been due to the failure of railway staff. So this has been the major reason that more than 50% of the accident is happening because of the failure of the railway staff. Then 28.4 due to the failures on the part of non-staff people, and 6.2% on the equipment and lack of equipment failure. So what we can see that in the case of Balasore and Kavach accident, there was a problem of signaling system. So here there was no lack of staff, there was a problem of signaling system. It means that our technology, our equipments and whatever the system we have made for the safety measure of the passengers, safety of the railway is not properly followed. And that's why we can see that death of 275 people in Balasore accident. So this is the overview of the railway, that we had reduced the number. But if we have reduced the number, does not justify for the people who had lost their life in the train accident. Now we'll come to the next one. Next one is about that what is Kavach. So Kavach is a automatic train protection system which prevents train from the collision. So it gives signals and it has a auto brake system that when there is a chances of collision, there will be auto brake system. So this is about the Kavach, and Kavach has been designed to prevent rail accident, especially because of the signaling system, and we can see in the case of Balasore. So here if we'll see the data of the railway, that how much Kavach has been installed. So according to the February 2024 data, only 2% of the railway line has Kavach system, and rest 98% still have a problem with signaling issues, and that's why we can see that rail accidents are happening because of the signaling issue. So this is the thing, and why Kavach is unable to cover up all the area. So what we can see that right now Kavach has become very expensive, and it is very expensive for the Indian Railway. It is costing around rupees 50 lakh per kilometer and 70 lakh per locomotive. And that's why, because railway is also suffering from the fund crunch, and because of that we are not able to install Kavach system throughout the railway system of the country. Now we'll come to the next one. Next one is about what is operating ratio. So operating ratio is that how much you spend to earn rupees 100 in railway. So if we'll see the data of 2024 to 2025, we have estimation around rupees 98.2, which was better than earlier. It was 98.7, but it is just marginally better. And in 2016 it was 97.8. And what higher operating ratio means? The higher operating ratio means that railways are more dependent on the extra budgetary resources. It means that railway is unable to generate its own revenue, and that's why it is depending on extra budgetary revenue resources. Then if we'll see the data of 2016 and 17, the BJP government brought the railway budget. So what we can see that earlier we had a different railway budget, but the BJP government had brought railway budget into a singular platform. But does it help into generating more revenues of the railway? If you'll see the data, it has clearly not. And what we have seen that the railways dues have ballooned to 17% of revenue received, and earlier in 2015 and 16 it was 10%. So it has increased even. The revenue has increased, so railway is more dependent on extra budgetary resources. Here we'll come to the next one, which is about that freight service faring. So as you already know that there are two internal sources of revenue in railway. We have one freight services and another is passenger services. So the freight services account 65% of the revenue of both these sources, and it has increased thrice according to the NITI Aayog report, that it has increased thrice since 2009 to 19. So in the last decade it has increased thrice. And according to the draft National Rail Plan, nearly 30% of the railway network is utilized to more than 100% capacity. So if we have 100% railway capacity, only 30% are utilized, and that has created a slow flight services and so much dependency on a single route, and that's why it is unable to generate revenue. So this is about the freight services. Now we'll come to the passenger services. So if we'll see the passenger services is creating loss to the railway, because whatever profit we have in the freight services, that has been covered by the passenger services, because passenger services are going into the loss. And if we'll see the data, the revenue from passenger services was little over than rupees 50,000 crore and loss of rupees 63,364 crore. So what we can see that this is greater than this. And passenger services incurred loss of 68,269 crore in the year 2021 to 22. So it has been constantly in loss, and because of the passenger services, the freight services has to also suffer, and overall the revenue of the railway is suffering because there is a mismatch of revenue generation. And here will come that what's the reason behind this? The reason is that the railway, right now the railway has two aspirations. The one is to generate the revenues. The second is to provide affordable travel services to its passenger. And railway is juggling between these two. What is happening that passengers services, they are suffering the loss, and that's why overall revenue of the railway is destabilized. And because of so many factors, this problem we are suffering. First of all, we can see that there is an overburden on the staff, there is a lack of staff, and sometimes a person who are coming from a railway department has to do 12 hours or 18-hour shift. So this is a very miserable condition because of the lack of staff, because of inattentiveness of the staff. We have to face such kind of things. On the other hand, because of various rail accident, we can see the traffic on a single route, and that also creates a problem in the staff because so many staffs are considered and are working on a single station, so they are not equally divided. So this is also one of the thing. And if you'll see that why there is a stressful, so high network congestion is likewise exemplified by limited utility of Kavach. Because there is a limited utility of Kavach, there is a problem of signaling issue, and that's why congestion is happening on a single track. So this is the factor that we can see there is a mismatch and lack of support. There is a gap in political will. So they are the cumulative factors which are responsible for the safety of the railway. Here comes to the solution, that what could be the solution. First of all, we have to make balance between the freight services and passenger services. If we have 100% of the capacity, why we are utilizing 30% of its capacity? We need to increase that capacity so that we can generate more revenues. We need to issue advertisement related to the railway staff so that the one staff could not get burdened because of the railway services. And also we need to have modern equipments like covers to prevent road accident. So this is the thing that we have to do in order to prevent the rail accident, and this is the way forward approach. Now we'll come to the question part. The question is, consider the following statement regarding the Kavach automatic train protection system. It is designed to prevent collision by allowing pilots to track the relative location of their trains. The system includes features like alarms and automated braking protocols. Kavach is exclusively used for passenger trains in India. Which of the above statement is correct? 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. You have to answer this into the comment section. I hope you like this session. If you have any queries related to this session, kindly ask in the comment section. Thank you. Have a nice day.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.